Ever since we opened our doors in 1964, Davis Ford in Fulton has been committed to providing the highest level of customer service and customer satisfaction. That level of commitment is shown in our 18 Ford President's Awards for overall customer experience. Whether you're looking for a tune-up, a trade-in, or a new F-150, the team at Davis Ford is here to serve you. Come see us today in Fulton. Call us at 662-862-3711 or visit us online at davisfordsales.com. Davis Ford, small town dealership, small town prices.
Today tastes like a home game, like a huddle. Tastes like we're bringing the heat, and like a front row seat. Today tastes like we're a team, and it never tasted this good.
When I came back to school this year, I brought my bank with me, and the student checking account at First American National Bank was perfect for me. No monthly fees and no minimum balance, and I can manage my money right from the app. I can do all my banking with text messaging if I want, and I can deposit a check just by taking a photo. It's that easy at FANB.
I took my bank to college with me.
I took my bank to college with me.
My bank followed me to college.
I took my bank to college with me.
I took my bank to college with me.
It's that easy at First American National Bank.
Little Caesars is now the official pizza sponsor of the NFL. Let's go! Come on, keep it hot.
It's good!
Pizza.
Again!
Harder, readier, let's go!
Pizza.
Pizza. No, pull. High five.
Pizza.
Come on.
Pizza.
We're ready.
Enjoy game day with a Fanceroni Pepperoni with over 100 Old World pepperonis.
Pizza.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
Show your school spirit with our exclusive debit cards. Represent ICC with a special card design you can only get from First American National Bank. You'll show your support every time you use the card. Support ICC with a Spirit debit card from FANB.
They say Diet Coke is a mom's drink. Well, you copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music. Now, copy her drink. Drink what your mama gave you.
Hey, honey, could you help me with this? Today tastes like staying in. And it never tasted this good.
This broadcast is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars in Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, Davis Ford, First American National Bank, TM Realtor Agent Ricky Murphy, Max Home, the ICC Baptist Student Union, Cagle Eye Center, Bank Okolona, Sam's Town Market in Manatee, State Farm Insurance Agent Brandon Poland, the ICC Wesley Foundation, the ICC Foundation and Alumni Association, and donations to the Sports Information Indian Club from viewers like you.
Ever since we opened our doors in 1964, Davis Ford in Fulton has been committed to providing the highest level of customer service and customer satisfaction. That level of commitment is shown in our 18 Ford President's Awards for overall customer experience. Whether you're looking for a tune-up, a trade-in, or a new F-150, the team at Davis Ford is here to serve you. Come see us today in Fulton. Call us at 662-862-3711 or visit us online at davisfordsales.com. Davis Ford, small town dealership, small town prices.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we're just moments away from the First American National Bank opening kick here in the men's game as ICC getting set to take on Gulf Coast in the nightcap, if you will. Lady Indians picked up a 2-1 win in the first match of the day. Indians hoping to complete the sweep here of the Bulldogs. These two teams met in a friendly earlier this season down at Gulf Coast, and the Bulldogs came away with a 2-1 win in that matchup. This has always been one of those matchups back in, I guess, the North-South division. These two teams, more often than not, met in the playoffs, and they were always some instant classics, expecting that to be the case again today. ICC already taking the field, waiting Gulf Coast to take the field here to the right of us. Indians in their red and white kits, white tops, red shorts. Gulf Coast in their black and blue kits with a gold trim around the numbers and lettering. Take a look at today's Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works starting lineup here for your Indians. Number 2, J.B. Purvis. He is a sophomore midfielder out of DeSoto Central. You've got Christian Holman. He's a midfielder / defender, a freshman out of Center Hill. Hogan Payne, once again a midfielder / defender, freshman out of Lewisburg. Anthony Jones, number 7. He's a striker, a sophomore out of Lafayette High School. You've got number 10, Billy Jip. He is a midfielder freshman out of England. 13, Reed Connerly, a midfielder / defender, freshman out of Tupelo High School. Number 15, Malty Nicholson, a freshman defender out of Germany. Gage Lashley wearing number 17. He's a midfielder freshman out of Lewisburg. 19, Ethan Scott, a freshman defender out of Center Hill. And then Owen Anforth, a midfielder / defender. He's a freshman out of England. And number 99, Christian Mahan. He's the keeper for the Indians. He is out of South Haven High School. That is your Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works starting lineup here for the Indians. ICC and Coke. Now that's a winning combination, and Coach Vogel in his first year with the Indians hopes he has that winning combination put together here for the Indians. Gulf Coast coming in with a record of 4-3-1 overall. They're 2-0-0 in conference play. For ICC, they are 4-2-1, 1-1 inside conference play, coming off a, well, to say disappointing performance at Colin would be an understatement, as the Indians took the loss here on the road last week. So Gulf Coast with it now, and Indians force them to retreat here. Wind picking up again, a beautiful day for soccer here in Fulton. Appreciate those that are watching, part of the ICC family, and we do want to say a special hello to those that are watching in favor of the Bulldogs this afternoon. As the ball goes out of bounds, it will go back to Gulf Coast. Well, in that match against Gulf Coast in the friendly earlier this season, Gulf Coast struck right away. And when I say right away, I'm talking about in the opening 2 to 3 minutes. They scored 2 goals in the span of about 45 seconds to be able to pick up that 2-1 win, as ICC was cut the lead in half late in that contest, couldn't quite find the equalizer. So if that's any indication of what we got today, should be a fun one here in Fulton. This ball pops straight up in the air, and the Indians eventually let it settle. Now it's going to clear this one back towards midfield. Gulf Coast there takes it away. Dangerous spot in the field here for the Bulldogs. Indians collapse quickly, forces them to go outside on the far side of the pitch. Sends it inside with the left foot. Indians break it up, and it's going to be popped out again. Mad scramble for it, and a great job there by the Indians. That's Payne to clear that one out and allow the defense to reset. Gulf Coast with it here at midfield. Indians take it away. Gulf Coast pokes that one out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Indians. Remind you, in about an hour, over on the Blue Channel, ICC will take on Pearl River in volleyball. That's at the DEC. As this ball sent over the top, Gulf Coast puts a foot into it, loose on the pitch and still loose, and Gulf Coast will eventually corral it and take control. Trying to swing this one up in a hurry. And it's going to be a bumping foul, I believe, called here on the Indians. Well, the pace has quickened here in the men's match. That's going to be a foul on ICC. Referee coming up and saying something to number 4, Bale of Gulf Coast. And I guess he just wasn't happy with the bump and maybe wanted a card there. And speaking of that, Gulf Coast and ICC number 2 and number 3, respectively, in cards this season inside the conference. So these are two teams that like to play physical. So I want to say they have combined for upwards of 45 to 48 cards in only less than 10 games. And we've got a scramble for it. The referee throwing the flag up, and center judge finally recognizing that, and it will go back to the Indians. So yeah, today's matchup, physicality is going to be the word here. We'll see how the referees allow these two teams that like to play physical play here. The Indians surveying the defense of the Bulldogs here, sends it back to Mahan. Mahan just going to send it right back to Nicholson. Now Nicholson squeezes this one ahead. Payne, bad touch, and Gulf Coast gets it. Now here come the Bulldogs. Sending it out wide, and Nicholson wisely sends that one back, and ICC finds it. Chip with it now. Wants to send this one ahead. He's got a man. Opportunity here for the Indians as they go down. This is Purvis. Purvis trying to cross over the defender. Strikes and couldn't get a solid foot on it there. Good job by the Bulldogs to recover quickly. Purvis had a chance to open the scoring up in this one as ICC quickly countered the attack there of the Bulldogs. Connerly with it. And it's going to be off the leg of the Gulf Coast player throw-in on the near side here for the Indians. So a throw-in, which is basically from the same distance as a corner kick here from the Indians. Throws it in, looking to go over the top. Header, too strong. Good idea, just couldn't quite get on top of the ball there to put that one home. First substitution of the afternoon is going to be 20 Maradagata into the contest. Again, if I'm saying those names wrong, I do apologize in advance. This substitution being brought to you by your State Farm Insurance agent, Brandon Poland. So Gulf Coast with it on the far side of the pitch. Looking to reverse it on the far side. This is a good send here. He was onside. Now sends it over the middle. Strikes deflected by Nicholson, and he's going to clear this one out. Smart play there by the German to get a foot on that one and quickly send it out of bounds to allow the defense to reset. We've seen two good strikes, one by each team that could have easily started the scoring here, but now here comes the Indians on the other end. Purvis trying to catch up with it, goes out wide, swings on it over the middle, and just deflected. The Indians were there, but what a play by the Bulldogs to keep this one scoreless, as Jones couldn't send that one home. Now the Bulldogs trying to get out in transition. Beautifully taken away there by the Indians, out of bounds, back to the Bulldogs. We saw that opportunity set by a little bit of a bump by the Indians. Got out in transition, couldn't send it home. Could be one of those at the end of the day the Indians look back on and wish that they had another opportunity to take advantage of. So the Bulldogs with it. Just a one-man dribbling show here as he tries to squeeze this one ahead. Bulldogs keep it over the middle now. Here comes Gulf Coast. Tries to go out wide with it, but taken away there by Connerly. Connerly now wanting to get out in transition. Sends it to the middle of the pitch. Got a man to the left side. This is where he goes. Purvis tries to send it back across the middle, and a great job there by the Bulldogs to get back and reset. Just a bad touch. Couldn't quite lead Purvis in step that time to let him get a quick strike. Good job by the Bulldogs to recover defensively. Jip with it. Now he's going to send it back. That's Nicholson. Now sends this one out wide. Looking to go over the top, looking for Purvis, and Purvis had to be careful, knew that he was going to be close to being offside when the ball was sent. It was him and Holman that were collapsing that time. Quick decision by the keeper to come up, make a play on the ball, and take away the opportunity there for the Indians. High kick on this one. sails. I think the wind kind of helped that one carry a little bit further than Gulf Coast was anticipating. It's kind of calm on the field. You look at the trees, and of course, we talk about this during baseball season. The pine trees that are tall out there in the left field to center field area, they're shaking pretty good. The treetops here at the soccer complex, they're moving not as much as the taller pine trees out at baseball, but they are moving. So when the ball gets up in a higher part of the field or gets kicked higher, it's going to be dancing around a little bit with that wind as we progress throughout the evening. Still scoreless here. ICC trying to go over the top. Nobody there with it. That ball kept by the Bulldogs. Indians coming up and applying some pressure here. And now it's taken away. Indians with it. Good job by the Bulldogs collapsing quickly not to allow them to get a shot off. Now they want to send this one out wide. Nobody there for the Indians, though. It's going to be chased down, and it's going to go out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick here for the Bulldogs. Good idea, just a little bit of confusion on the part of the Indians to who was wanting to get after the ball that time, and a break there for the Bulldogs. As ICC has been the aggressor defensively and had a golden opportunity to take a 1-0 advantage, but a great play defensively by the Bulldogs took it away, and we're still scoreless here in the early goings of this one. Now this one's sent ahead over the middle. Indians break it up, but the Bulldogs right back there to get it. Mad scramble for it. Fires deflected by the Indians. So now the Bulldogs with it want to go to the far side of the pitch. Sends this one up top. It's going to be deep, and it's going to be deflected and out of bounds, and they're going to say corner kick coming up here for the Bulldogs as it came off the chest of Connerly that time. So a corner kick coming up here for Gulf Coast. So it took a minute to chase that one down as Gulf Coast hiding in the shadows over there. They're in the dark kits, as we talked about that black and blue look with the gold trim. It's a little bit difficult to see when we get over there in the shade. As this one's sent on its way, deep against the post. It's over the middle. Indians whiff on trying to clear it out. But the ball rolls out wide. Now Gulf Coast strikes, and ICC's there to clean it up. Now this is going to be Billy with it. Jip had it taken away momentarily. Now battles back for it, and it's going to go out of bounds, and that should, they're going to say it's going to be Gulf Coast ball. Looked like it was deflected off the foot of the Gulf Coast players. You hear the wind really starting to pick up now.
Good homing, good homing.
Could be one of those that can play a factor later on in this contest. Gulf Coast shoots, fires, and misses. But it looks like there may be a foul on the Indians here. And that is going to be the case. Well, it was just a good job by the Gulf Coast player. He felt the ICC player on his hip, kind of checked up for a moment, got bumped as he shot and drew the foul. So a good job there of getting this free kick that's going to be a dangerous spot right here. Not only is it dangerous for ICC, but the keeper going to be looking back into the sun as well. So here we go. This one is going to be in for the Bulldogs. Top shelf, and was able to put it away, and that was a beauty there. That was number 19, Podlaskis, able to put that one home, and the Bulldogs take an early 1-0 advantage. As we said, that was a dangerous spot to put it in. Did a good job of going top left corner. One of those that not only did he have to battle with the ball breaking away from him, but also had to stare back into the sun trying to make the play on. And Bulldogs early on, 1-0. Now the Indians trying to find a way to strike back in this one. As Jones annihilates the flag over there as the ball goes out of bounds. And it'll be a throw in here for the Bulldogs. So the Indians trying to find the equalizer here. Had a chance early on, couldn't take advantage. Gulf Coast took advantage of the free kick and was able to put that one home. They lead it 1-0. And that time, really nobody from ICC moving without the ball to come back and help him out. Turnover easily forced that time by the Bulldogs. Indians, though, step up and answer on the other end defensively. Trying to see if they can find the speedy Jones on the other side, but he was offside that time. As Jones just couldn't quite get back quick enough. Easy call for the referee, and now the ball will go back to the Bulldogs. This punt, once again, carries a little bit deeper than the Bulldogs were anticipating the play there. As it goes out of bounds, last touch by ICC on the throw-in here on the near side. Substitution getting set to come in the match here for the Bulldogs. It's been their second set, or actually second time they've sent in some subs. They sent in mass substitutions after the goal earlier. This is number 11, Rails, checking in. As Gulf Coast with it now here on the near side. They lead it 1-0. Trying to find that bonus goal here. They strike, but that one just a bit wide. So the Indians will get set to send this one in with a goal kick here from Mahan. This one goes short with it this time for the Indians. Gulf Coast not putting a lot of pressure, kind of waiting for him to get towards midfield, and then we'll double team and trap the ball at times as ICC now tries to send this one ahead. Cleared out that time by Gulf Coast. Stays at the feet of the Indians, though. ICC with it. Far side of the pitch, they go with it. Jones now wanting to go, and he is going to drive inside, and we're going to have a foul called here. Didn't quite slide for majority of the ball. Kind of came into the slide from the side or behind him that time. And so the Bulldogs, who scored on a free kick earlier, ICC will have the opportunity to answer the bell here. So can the Indians find the equalizer in this situation? Chip is going to be set to send in this one. Does so, sends it ahead, but the keeper right there. Then the ball comes free, is still free. Jones with it, puts it right into the chest of the keeper. Tough break for the Indians once again. Had a chance off the deflection to stick it home, but put that one blistering right back into the chest of the Gulf Coast defender, or excuse me, keeper. I believe Nestor in net for Gulf Coast, and now here come the Indians on the other end. Purvis wanting to go to work, tries to go left-footed. Gulf Coast takes it away. Nicely done there by the Bulldogs. It'll be a corner kick coming up here for the Indians. But yeah, that was Nestor earlier that got that ball sent right back into his chest, and you heard the thud all the way up here. Indians have had 2 point-blank goals rejected by some nice defensive plays by the Bulldogs. This one being sent ahead. Header is cleared out. Good job by the Bulldogs to get in front of that one. Cleared out now. They're going to send this one back to midfield. The Indians are there to take it. They want to send it back to Mahan, who comes well up away from the box to get the hold of that one. And now this one's sent ahead. Purvis once again trying to chase that one down. And this one's going to go out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick coming up here as JB was trying to get the deflection and get another corner opportunity, but did not. Substitutions coming in for both teams here. Short and Bale for Gulf Coast. For ICC, El Sheikh, Ian Thomas, and I believe Holman checks back into the contest here for the Indians. These substitutions being brought to you by Samstown Market in Mantachie. This one pinballed around and will head towards the keeper of Gulf Coast. He'll simply scoop that one up and survey where he wants to go with it. This one headed right towards us here in the ICC Alumni Association and Foundation broadcast booth. If that one would have got up here, that one would have hurt. I might have went home if that one would have hit me. There ain't no might have went to it. I would have went home. So the Indians with it, trapped in the corner. It's going to go out of bounds, and the referees will say ICC throw in on the side. So the Indians that throw in basically from the corner position like they had before. Need to make this thing dangerous right here if you're ICC. This one sent up. The keeper got a hand on it, nearly put back off the deflection, as that one just a little too hard and wide outside, and Gulf Coast dodges another bullet. Bulldogs living life dangerously here. They lead it 1-0. Substitution getting set to come in here for Gulf Coast. Sun will enter the contest here for the Bulldogs. That substitution being brought to you by State Farm Insurance agent Brandon Poland here in Itawamba County. Whether it be home, auto, or life, if you need insurance, Brandon's got it for you at great rates that you can't beat. Check him out. Look him up online. Brandon Poland, Poland, as there's a hard strike and just wide for the Bulldogs and a break for the Indians, as that was one that the Bulldogs would love to have over again there. So a big shift there as both teams now crowd back towards midfield. Gulf Coast wins that 50-50 ball. This one's sent ahead and wisely just cleared back to the ICC side of the pitch. Indians with it now, ready to go up the pitch. Up the middle they go. Oh, had a man that was there. Bulldogs once again in the right spot at the right time to break up that play. ICC gets it back now, sends it over the middle. Ball still loose on the pitch. A couple of Indians fighting over it in the air. Loose. ICC lets it settle. Tries to go over the middle. Broken up nicely by the Bulldogs. Now left side on the attack. Taken away there by Gulf Coast. And now here come the Bulldogs on the other end. Referee said play on in that situation after the contact on the other side of the pitch. And this one's going to be cleared out. Gulf Coast, though, there to take it away once again. Bulldogs with it. Wide left on the attack. Want to go over the middle. Nicholson there cleans it up. But Gulf Coast in the right spot at the right time once again. Didn't have anything, so they're going to back it back out. Now go to the left side on the attack. Or no, do we have a whistle? Apparently we're having a whistle. Did not hear it. So apparently it's going to be ICC ball there. I was wondering why they just was standing over there. No real action going on for a good 3 count. So the foul on the Bulldogs, and ICC will have it now. Trailing this one 1-0. Coming up on 22 minutes to play in the first half. Now here come the Indians on the attack on the other end. Trying to go over the top with it. Nothing there. That was going to be out of bounds. I believe it's going to be last touched by ICC. Yes, it is. Well, Gulf Coast doing a great job. They're pretty much giving everything but midfield, probably say about 10 yards, 15 yards from midfield up. They're just basically saying, all right, that's your space. You can dribble it around, pass it around all you want. But the closer you get to midfield, our defense is going to turn up, and that's pretty much been the case here. And a foul on the Indians. And it'll go back to the Bulldogs. Referee going to ask for the ball to come back a little bit further here. And so Gulf Coast will put it in play. This one sent it in the middle. Gulf Coast had it, lost it. ICC gets it back. That's Nicholson coming well out of his spot to send this one ahead, trying to find El Sheikh. And again, Gulf Coast doing a good job of not necessarily getting in the way of the ball, but getting in the way of El Sheikh to take away his angle of pursuit that time. Allow the defense to recover. This one popped up. Indians are there. And now send this one forward. Well, it's almost like ICC right now is just sending this ball to their side of the pitch, try to get away from it, not really sending it with purpose. As we have a substitution coming in here for the Bulldogs. Omar will check in wearing number 7. And Jip will come back in here for the Indians wearing number 10. And body's just flying all over the place there. Whistle, and it's going to be back to the Bulldogs. That foul on ICC. So a quick touch will get it back in play now. Inside 20 minutes ago, Gulf Coast leading this one 1-0 as that one sent ahead and tucked in and saved. Nicholson puts a heavy foot into this one down the pitch. Bounces off the chest of the ICC player. El Sheikh is able to find it. Leaves this one out wide, and ICC will reset the attack here. Trailing this one 1-0. Inside 19.5 to play here in the first half. Sent over the top, too tall. Jip trying to chase this one down. Can't do so, and Gulf Coast has just beat him to the punch. Nicholson, who has played solid on that back line for the Indians so far, steps in front of that one. Now the Indians with it. Trying to squeeze this one ahead. Does so. Keeper's coming out. Got to be careful. And just a step away from being able to put another foot on that one was Thomas. If he can just break that one free for a second, he has an easy route for the goal to find the equalizer there. But another good quick decision by the keeper of Gulf Coast. As this one sent down the pitch, Gulf Coast had it, lost it, and ICC now recovers it. This one sent well too far, and again, ICC trying to just get over the top of this Gulf Coast defense that has been extremely tough. Substitutions coming in for both teams here for ICC. Geraldo coming in along with Franco, and for Gulf Coast, Tremino is into the event. And there's another foul called here on the Bulldogs. As we said, these two teams play a physical brand of soccer. Two of the teams that are number 2 and number 3 in the league in cards, or yellow cards, I should say. As Jip heads that one out, loose, and Gulf Coast clears it away. This one coming over the top, cleared out once again by the Bulldogs. That one taken away, nicely done across the way by Gulf Coast, and in their frustration, The ICC player just reaches out and grabs his jersey after a great defensive play there by the Bulldogs. And now Gulf Coast with it. Now the Indians with it, leave it towards midfield. Just going to reverse the pitch. Once again, that tough, tenacious D by Gulf Coast. It's not giving the Indians anything easy. And it's going to be out of bounds. Last touch by the Indians. Are they going to call a foul here on the Indians? Looks like they are going to call the foul here on ICC. Well, if you're joining us looking for the volleyball match, it's over on the Blue Channel. Invite you to stay tuned here for the next few minutes. That one scheduled to start at 5 o'clock. This one going to go over the top. Mahan's going to come out and make the play, and like he's was accidentally ran into that time by the Gulf Coast player who, like he kind of grabbed his face after the contact, but seems to be okay now. Indians right now not finding an answer to this smothering style defense of Gulf Coast. Indians need to find some way to find better spacing, if you will, as they send this one ahead to Jip. Jip trying to go to work with it here on the near side. Gets shoved, and it's going to go out of bounds, and they're going to say it goes to ICC on the throw-in. So the Indians trying to find a way to throw it in. Gulf Coast not even giving them that right now. That tells you what type of defense they're playing. As that shot well off frame as it goes behind the goal. And we'll have another substitution coming in here for the Bulldogs. Taylor, wearing number 22, will come into the contest. As this substitution being brought to you by Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, ICC and Coke. Now that's a winning combination, and the Indians trying to find a way to get back in this one, to find a way to see if they can get the win here. Lady Indians win 2-1 in the first match of the day. As that ball goes out of bounds off the head of the Indian player. So Gulf Coast with it now. India's not pressuring the ball as much as Gulf Coast is, and Gulf Coast has been able to take advantage of that in some opportunities as they're really kind of able to lay back and survey the defense. ICC kind of packing it in defensively. Gulf Coast more of a pressure style defense so far here in the first half. This 50-50 ball sent down the pitch, headed backwards. And El Sheikh trying to get to it, but again, Gulf Coast just a step ahead of the Indians so far in this one. As this ball pinballed around. Again, we saw the sun becoming a factor there as both players kind of put their hands up to shield their eyes from the sun. As Gulf Coast will eventually take care of the ball at midfield. Gulf Coast now within the middle of the pitch. Dangerous opportunity here coming for the Bulldogs. Going to go out wide near side. Puts the foot into this one, and that one's going to be off frame. And kind of saw once again the wind playing tricks on that one. Once it kind of got up in the air a little bit, you can hear the wind. Here in the ICC Alumni Association and Foundation broadcast booth. If you would like to find out how you can support the men's soccer team, you can join the Indian Club. Visit iccms.edu/Indian Club. That's iccms.edu/Indian Club. More subs coming in here. 4 fresh faces coming in for the Bulldogs. We'll give you their numbers: 8, 10, 19 and 25 all in here for Gulf Coast. Both teams not wasting any time going to the bench this afternoon. Indians with a triple team. That's going to go out of bounds, but it will stay with Gulf Coast. Indians force the Bulldogs to retreat. As we said, right now it just seems like the Bulldogs are just about a step and a half ahead of the Indians. It's ICC trying to find the equalizer here, but the Bulldogs defensively have been tough all day. This one saved in bounds. Pinballed around right now, and just an unfortunate foul call there as Omar, he was kind of sitting still, and his hip poked out just enough to get enough of the ICC player to draw the whistle. And the Indians going to reverse the pitch, and Wynn carried that one backwards. So the wind clearly blowing left to right on your screen here, and has been a factor a couple of times in this match as this ball's been spun around and Gulf Coast had it, lost it, gets it back. Now since over the middle, there's Billy to take it away. Nice job by Jip to step in front of that one. But then there's Gulf Coast's answer with a nice play on the other end, and there's the Indians coming back to take it. Anything you could do, I could do better in that exchange. Now here comes ICC. Can they find the equalizer this trip down the pitch? Coming up on 10 minutes of play here in the first half. This strike from distance, but we're going to have a foul on that as well. And a smart play there as he got the defender on his hip. Did Franco, and felt the pressure, put a solid foot into it, and got bumped at the same time. And so now a free kick coming up from a very dangerous spot. That's how we saw Gulf Coast take their first lead of the game. It was more towards a straight-up style shot. But a close-range free kick coming up here for ICC to see if they can find the equalizer in this one inside 10 minutes of play in the first half. That one sent directly into the wall. Deflects out. Franco puts a foot into it. And we'll see a whistle there, I believe. This is going to be on Gulf Coast. Getting ready for a substitution coming in for ICC. This is going to be Gage Lashley coming back in. So it will be a corner kick coming up. That's what it was going to be called. As the deflection carries the ball out. Last touch by Gulf Coast. So Lashley will be on to attempt this corner kick here, coming up on 8.5 to play in the first half. Just didn't get a good foot on that one. Billy tries to send that one through. And so we'll basically have a do-over here. Good job by Chip just to send that one through, see if he might find it through some traffic that time. Couldn't do so. But the ball back to the corner here on a corner kick for the Indians. Much better send this time, a little bit too deep. And Gulf Coast cleans that one up. Indians send that one out of bounds. And Gulf Coast is going to rush and throw it in here, see if they can keep the transition advantage going. Mad dash for the ball on the far side of the pitch, and it's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by the Indians. Gulf Coast quickly pokes this one forward. Indians recover nicely defensively to force them to retreat. This was sent over the middle. Indians head that one up. Gulf Coast, though, in the right spot at the right time to find that rebound. Get it back once again, spin in the middle. The Indians send this one ahead. Now here comes the ICC, seeing if they can get something out in transition. Franco with it, wants to send this one ahead. This is El Sheikh with it now, trying to get forward, and another good defensive play there by the Bulldogs. Can't talk about this enough. You see it so many times by the team, the above average teams, if you will. The smart plays of, I can't get to the ball, but I can alter the route of the player trying to get to the ball and take away their angle of pursuit. And that was what the Gulf Coast Bulldogs did just there. Referee was not ready to go. Now they are. This one's sent back, and ICC finds the handle on it eventually. Sends this one out wide. That's Scott with it. Now wants to go over the top to Jones. Bulldogs clear that one out, allows the defense to reset. So Jones with it, trying to split defenders, does so. Tries to go forward, and then it's going to be cleared out that time. And I believe it may be a corner kick. Yes, it will be a corner kick coming up here for the Indians. Jones, a big physical player, can't muscle him up, or not very many people in the league can. That's what the Bulldogs tried to do there, and he was able to fight through that double team. And ball deflected out of bounds, and it'll be a corner kick coming up here for the Indians. ICC has got to make this dangerous. Something they've struggled with this season has been corner kicks. This one sent on its way, and that one too deep. Eventually deflected out and in for the goal! Let's go back and look at that replay there. I believe that was Franco that was able to come back and get that one off the deflection. And the keeper just out of spot for it that time. And yeah, Franco with the equalizer. And ICC now 1-1 with Gulf Coast. So the throw in here by the Bulldogs. Indians get it back, seeing if they can build on a little bit of this momentum here. ICC gets it back, so going to clear it back now and reset. Reversing the pitch here near side now. Want to go over the top to Jip. Jip try to let that one settle. Whole lot of contact. Good no call by the referee, as neither player got an advantage in that situation. They both just went to the turf. But now we're going to have a foul called here on the backside. Momentum starting to shift a little bit here to the Indian side of things. 3.5 to play until halftime. So a chance to make this dangerous here for the Indians. I believe this is Lashley. That will be set to step into this free kick. Referee steps off the defense now, trying to get everybody kind of settled down on the other side of the goal. Now in play we go with it. Lashley tries to bend this one inside. Gulf Coast breaks that one up. Jip is there, though, to keep it alive for the Indians. Back to the feet of Lashley. Out of bounds, and they're going to say it will stay with the Indians. So it'll be a throw in here for ICC. Can't really find anybody here. Once again, that tough defense of the Bulldogs. Been tough making it go here for the Indians throughout the entire first half. This ball deflected out. Indians find it, strike over the middle. It's going to be too wide, though. As more subs coming in here. Bell and Phillips, 4 and 16 in for the Bulldogs. Coming up on 2 minutes to play here in the first half. I remind you to stay tuned for the Little Caesars halftime report, or I should say halftime show. We'll have the performance from the ICC All-American Band coming your way at halftime. We'll also hear words from our sponsors making it possible today's broadcast. This one hip forward, and now here comes Franco on the far side. He's got 1 goal today. Leads it back to Jones. Jones thought about striking. Now sends this one over the middle, and easily broken up that time by the keeper. Had a guy streaking towards the back post, but just couldn't quite get the correct angle to him there. Inside a minute and a half now till halftime. Indians take it away. Now this one's going to head here. Oh, man. With the between the legs play that time, if the Indians could have sent that one home, would have been big time. As they send this one back across the middle. Chip fires, but he's going to say he's offside. Inside a minute to play now. See if the referee allow the clock to continue to run here if they're going to try to stop it. As the Gulf Coast keeper had to go around the backside to get the ball, and solid 30 seconds have ticked off the clock here. Surprised the referee did not stop that. Now he's going to roll this one forward, and now they'll eventually get it back to him with 23 seconds. 50-50 ball coming up. Deflected out. Gulf Coast, though, has it with 15 seconds to play. Going to strike from distance. Going to look for the backside. Header, and it's saved. Impressive that Gulf Coast was able to get that type of a shot off in the matter of 15 seconds. But the save keeps us at 1-1 here at the end of the first half. We're going to take a break here. A word from our sponsors and be back with more of the Little Caesars halftime show. 1-1 ICC Gulf Coast at the break.
This broadcast is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars in Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, Davis Ford, First American National Bank, TM Realtor Agent Ricky Murphy, Max Home, the ICC Baptist Student Union, Cagle Eye Center, Bank Okalona, Sam's Town Market in Mantachie, State Farm Insurance Agent Brandon Poland, the ICC Wesley Foundation, the ICC Foundation and Alumni Association, and donations to the Sports Information Indian Club from viewers like you.
Ever since we opened our doors in 1964, Davis Ford in Fulton has been committed to providing the highest level of customer service and customer satisfaction. That level of commitment is shown in our 18 Ford President's Awards for overall customer experience. Whether you're looking for a tune-up, a trade-in, or a new F-150, the team at Davis Ford is here to serve you. Come see us today in Fulton. Call us at 662-862-3711 or visit us online at davisfordsales.com. Davis Ford, small-town dealership, small-town prices.
Why didn't you answer your phone?
You're not gonna believe what just... You bought a Coca-Cola with 0 sugar?
Yeah, why?
Come on, it has 0 sugar.
Yep, and it's delicious.
I don't believe it.
Just try something new. You'll love it.
This does taste great.
Show your school spirit with our exclusive debit cards. Represent ICC with a special card design you can only get from First American National Bank. You'll show your support every time you use the card. Support ICC with a Spirit debit card from FANB.
Over 100 crispy Old World pepperoni.
Cheesy crust edge.
This Fanceroni pepperoni from Little Caesars is fancy.
Am I fancy enough for the Fanceroni? I'm wearing cargo shorts.
But Tim, me too. Fancy isn't measured by your inseam. Fancy comes from here. 'Cause if you are what you eat, then we're all feeling mighty fancy today.
Yeah! Try the Fanceroni pepperoni with over 100 Old World pepperoni.
Pizza, pizza.
Irawaba Community College is proud to present to you the 2019 ICC All-American Marching Band. We're thrilled to perform for you this year's program, The Evolution of Gaming, featuring music from some of the most popular video games of our time. We open our program this evening with the music from the 1980 Atari game, Space Invaders. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the ICC All-American Marching Band. And now, the 91 Sega game, Sonic the Hedgehog, featuring Parasia Dunlap. Continues with the music from the 1992 video game, Mortal Kombat, featuring our percussion. Next, we bring you the music from the 2001 video game, Halo, featuring our low brass. The closer program this evening for the 2002 video game, Call of Duty, featuring Jeremiah Eckridge. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2019 ICC All-American Marching Band!
Little Caesars is now the official pizza sponsor of the NFL. Let's go! Come on, keep it hot.
It's good! Pizza, pizza.
Again.
Harder, readier. Let's go, let's go.
Pizza, pizza.
Pizza, pizza. No, pull. High five.
Pizza, pizza.
Come on.
Pizza, pizza.
We're ready.
Enjoy game day with the Fanceroni Pepperoni with over 100 old world pepperonis.
Pizza, pizza.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
If this just cost a little bit less.
Let's take a look at that with the Renaissance replay. Make the right call with over 400,000 shopping discounts right from the Renaissance Rewards Extra checking app.
Might be a little while before I get to the bank.
That's an incomplete pass. Let's give it a Renaissance replay. Renaissance Mobile Check Deposit. Make the right call and open an account with Renaissance today.
Hey Indian fans, I'm Ricky Murphy, real estate agent, Tommy Morgan Realtors, and I'm also a proud alumni of the All-American Marching Band. Itawamba Community College was my home for 2 years, and where you decide to make your home will be one of the most important decisions of your life. Whether you're looking to create a plan to buy your first home, or if you're ready today to make a move into your forever home, give me a call or send me a message so we can discuss your next move. And for my family, roll Tribe!
Want to make a good living? Come learn a skill at Max Home. Upholstery trainees start at $15.50 an hour. Our upholsterers average $23 an hour and can make above $28 an hour on production. We're also offering a $500 sign-on bonus to experienced upholsterers. Max Home is hiring for all positions and is willing to train quality people. Max Home makes all their custom-built products in the USA. Join the best, train with the best, be the best. Max Home, Bolton, Mississippi, and Max Home, Sulligent, Alabama.
Age-related macular degeneration is the leading cause of severe vision loss in adults over the age of 50. Symptoms are gradual loss to see objects clearly. Objects appear distorted in shape. Darker empty areas appear in the center of your vision. In a comprehensive eye exam, your optometrist will perform a variety of tests to determine if you have macular degeneration. For questions or concerns, call Cagle Eye Center in Fulton at 862-EYES, providing professional comprehensive eye care to the people of Itawamba County and the surrounding areas. Cagle Eye Center.
Why settle for a checking account that just holds your money? Renaissance Rewards Extra gives you so much more. Like savings at more than 400,000 retailers, 24/7 roadside assistance, a cell phone protection plan worth up to $400, $25 in ATM fee refunds per monthly cycle, and a great interest rate when you meet 3 easy qualifications. Get extra today at rewardsextra.com. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
This broadcast is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars in Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, Davis Ford, First American National Bank, TM Realtor Agent Ricky Murphy, Max Home, the ICC Baptist Student Union, Cagle Eye Center, Bank Okolona, Sam's Town Market in Manatee, State Farm Insurance Agent Brandon Poland, the ICC Wesley Foundation, the ICC Foundation and Alumni Association, and donations to the Sports Information Indian Club from viewers like you.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're just moments away from the start of the second half. 1-1 your score. Indians able to find that equalizer. Franco with the goal. I believe that was Franco's first goal of the season as well. As Gulf Coast will have it to start the second half here, getting the clock reset as both teams are ready to go. Lady Indians pick up a 2-1 win in the first game of the day. The Indians trying to complete the sweep as Bulldogs trying to earn the split. Bulldogs right to left on the attack. Indians will be left to right, meaning the sun will be in the eyes of the keeper as we progress throughout the match here. Jones trying to keep this one forward, but they're going to call the foul backwards since the advantage was taken away at midfield, so it will be ICC ball back there after the tripping call. Well, this has been a very physical matchup. We talked about anticipating that today as both these teams, number 2 and number 3 in the state when it comes to cards this season. Referees, though, have done a good job of keeping it in check. As Jones, that time, I don't think he was expecting Anforth to take that one away from as it goes out of bounds and back to the Bulldogs. Both these teams pretty equal on the year as well. Gulf Coast 4-3-1 overall. ICC 4-2-1 overall. Gulf Coast 2-0 in conference play. ICC 1-1. That ball deflected off the Indians. Now ICC trying to get this one back out wide, see if they can take their first lead of the match today. Back across the middle they go with it. Lashley crossing it over. Here comes the Indians. Opportunity here. Strikes, with a great defensive play by the Bulldogs to break that one up. Great hustle there by Gulf Coast to take away that shot. It will become a corner kick coming up here for the Indians. I believe this will be Billy Jip. Yep, Billy will step into this one. No, his mom is watching across the way, cheering on the Indians, I guess this evening or tonight across the pond. As this one sent to the backside, headed out by Gulf Coast. Indians will get it back now, looking to go on the backside. Shot is up, header's there, and it's in! What a beautiful play by the Indians! That is going to be a nominee for our What a Play Wednesday for sure. As Jones sticks that one in. And ICC now leads it 2-1. So the ball out of bounds. Gulf Coast will get it back. I'm having to send these updates to Lee, who is running our Twitter account. He's over at volleyball. If you're tuning in looking for volleyball, it's on the blue channel right now. ICC leading this one 2-1 here. And now Billy sends this one ahead. Oh, just an unfortunate bounce there, and got a card coming up here. Did not necessarily see where the contact was. So it will be the first yellow issue today for either team. And it'll be a free kick coming up here for the Indians. So referee getting everyone squared away here. Chip will get set to step into this free kick. Since it's on its way, and Gulf Coast able to head that one out. Indians come up and take this one away. Indians being much more aggressive defensively than we saw in the first half. Putting a lot more pressure on the ball. As Gulf Coast swings and misses at that one. Ball loose at midfield, but Gulf Coast lets it settle. As they're able to take it back now. 2-1 ICC with the lead. That was Jones' second goal of the season. They gave the Indians the 1-goal advantage here. And a foul whistled here on Gulf Coast. Both these dugouts getting into it here, so not really at each other, but just into the match. So that's increased the intensity of the atmosphere. And again, we talked about these two teams being the top teams in the league, and when it comes to yellow cards, and in my opinion, the referee's done a good job of A, letting them play, B, keeping it in control. Because if anybody watches JUCO soccer, you know this is a powder keg just waiting to explode in some situations. This one's going to be sent ahead. ICC is going to keep it in bounds. Now this one trying to be squeezed ahead, but Jones is going to be offside. Gulf Coast comes up and makes a play on it, so they're going to say play on. So Gulf Coast is going to retreat back to the keeper now. Nearly send that one out of bounds. He's able to chase it down before doing so. Wanting to go over the top of the defense now. Indians ready for it. Simply sends this one back to Mahan, who puts a foot into it back towards midfield. Gulf Coast there ready for it. Bulldogs looking for the equalizer. That strike from distance deflected out by the Indians through traffic there, and ICC is going to clear it back now. This ball deflected out wide. ICC ready for it. Puts a foot into it. Goes into the trees out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for the Bulldogs. And the Indians ready for that one. They're trying to reverse the pitch. Now Jones going to try to let it settle and just couldn't quite get to it in time as he ran out of real estate. The ball out of bounds back to the Bulldogs. So Gulf Coast with it at midfield. 2-1 ICC off the goal by Jones early in the second half. Jones stands in the way of that one, deflects it out of bounds, and Gulf Coast will get it back. Quickly throw this one in. And the Indians tough, forcing them to retreat back towards midfield. Now squeezes this one forward. Gulf Coast ready for it. Now they want to go out wide on the right side. Having to chase this one down before it goes out of bounds. Keeps it alive. Swings it back now and resets. Over the middle they go with it. Billy was there to deflect that one away. Now wanting to shoot from distance. This header's popped up and still alive. Almost a miscue there by the Indians defensively as he almost ran into that one. Almost turned into an own goal as Jones keeps this one alive. Then eventually loses it out of bounds. Gulf Coast player wanting to quickly get to the ball and kind of help Jones get out of the way. And Jones coming back to the same player that pushed him. A little bit of a forceful shoulder going into the play there. So referee said, all right, you did it the first time, we'll let you do it the second time, and now keep it clean after that. Now here comes the Bulldogs, near side. Striking from distance, that one deflected out. Bicycle kick too tall. Don't see that too often on the JUCO ranks. So that one goes out wide and too tall, and the Indians survive there as this 2-1 ICC. Jones releases now, wants to get up the pitch, but good help on the backside of defensively that time by the Bulldogs, as that was Lee coming in to force the turnover. Gulf Coast with it now towards midfield. Jip sends it out to deflect to allow the defense to reset. Gulf Coast tries to send this one ahead, but sends it out of bounds. It'll be ICC ball. Substitution coming into the match here for ICC. This is El Sheikh, who will come into the match. He will replace Anthony Jones, who had the goal to start the second half to give ICC the 2-1 advantage. This substitution being brought to you by the Kegel Eye Center. Need to get your eyes checked? Give them a call at 862-EYES. That's 862-EYES. That ball out of bounds and into the parking lot. Referee asking for a ball, and Coach Vogel will send that one in, and it wasn't a good send. Well, try to send it towards midfield, and, well, it went closer to the goal than it did midfield that time. Some of the players half-heartedly giving Coach Vogel a hard time over that one. This throw in, headed out that time by the Bulldogs. Now ICC with it, trying to squeeze this one forward. Lashley in traffic, taken away now by the Bulldogs. Gulf Coast trying to find the equalizer here. ICC leads it 2-1. Coming up on 34 minutes and 45 seconds to play in the contest. Nice touch ahead. Indians there taken away, but Gulf Coast stays strong. Cleared out nicely there by the Indians. Boy, I tell you what, the Gulf Coast is doing a good job of getting some deep penetration against this ICC defense. Indians have come up with a couple of plays of late to kind of deflect some of those opportunities, but Indians got to be careful here. ICC with it now. Lashley drops it back out wide. Now I want to send this one over the top tail. Shake a header forward. Now here come the Indians. Opportunity here. Oh, just a little too soon. Maybe feeling the pressure of that defense coming up on his left side that made him strike a little early. Did Purvis. Just couldn't get that one on frame. And I tell you what, tacking from that angle could make it difficult for the keeper, especially coming from the right side when he's having to look back into that sun. So a tough break there for the Indians, big time break there for the Bulldogs as ICC could have taken a 2-goal advantage. Now here come the Bulldogs, squeezing this one ahead. As we talked about, the Bulldogs have got some good penetration against this Indian defense. And this is going to be another example of it here. This one, nicely done there, as that was Holman just sacrificing his body to get in the way of the shot there. And they're going to stop the play and allow a substitution to get in the game here for Gulf Coast. Omar, wearing number 7, will come into the match. So say nobody stepped off, but the young man from Gulf Coast is walking up the sideline. Now scramble for it. And that's going to be a foul on the Indians. Good call. And may have a card come out in this situation. They are asking for a stoppage. But what it is they're sending 2 balls in this situation by mistake. And so the referee stopping the action because of that. Gulf Coast sends this one from well outside, off the mark. Bulldogs want to chase this one down on the backside. Now sends it over the corner, basically like a corner, I should have meant to say. And that ball just, for some reason, an Indian player and a Gulf Coast player both whiffed on the ball that time and couldn't find it as it bounced twice in the box there and eventually was punted out of bounds. And it'll be a goal kick coming up here for the Indians. Still a lot of time to play in this one. Indians with a 2-1 advantage here. Trying to send this one ahead. That is El Sheikh trying to fight off a couple of guys, and the ball eventually goes out of bounds back to Gulf Coast. More substitutions coming in here. 20 and 21 will come into the match here for the Bulldogs. Both these coaches quickly going to the bench again, much like we saw in the first half. This one bounced around at midfield, still popped up, still being fought for. Jip had it. Gulf Coast has it now. And they eventually let it settle. Across the pitch they go with it. Bulldogs squeezing this one ahead now. Out wide to the right side. Strikes, and that one's going to be off the side of the goal. Looked dangerous there for a second. Another substitution coming in. Ian Thomas, wearing 25, will check in for the Indians. Purvis, wearing number 2, will check out. Indians try to sneak a late sub into that situation. Couldn't do so. Referee said ball was in play. Play on. This one's going to try to go over the top. Indians find it here. This is Thomas. Thomas trying to switch directions, but too many blue shirts around him that time as Gulf Coast easily takes that one away. Now wanting to reverse the pitch away from the Indian defense. Thomas coming up and nearly takes that one away. It's 50-50 ball won by Gulf Coast. Now they're going to swing this one out wide. Back across the middle. Just took an unfortunate hop straight up that time for the Gulf Coast player. He could have turned around and challenged the defense there. Now they want to go out wide to the right side, and that shot too tall, too wide, out of bounds, back to the Indians. So the substitution will be able to come in now. Belk will come in for the Indians in this situation. It'll be a throw in here for ICC. Scramble for it. Ball's popped up. Still loose on the pitch. Indians just try to clear this one out. Shake comes up, makes a play on the ball. Going to be a chase for it, but oh, it's just going to be out of bounds. Great effort there by Mario to try to keep that one alive. Gulf Coast will get it back now, put it back into play in a hurry. 28:45 to play in this one. ICC still up 2-1. Gulf Coast, though, has some threats. The Indians have answered for them so far here throughout the second half. Now here come the Bulldogs. Left side. Strikes and saved. Loose ball, though. And the Indians able to come up and make the play. Good job by Mahan just to get in front of that one, kind of like a shortstop. Get your body in front of it. The ball took an awkward hop as it had some backspin to it. Was able to deflect it out. And look out, folks. This one's coming towards the sideline and caught by the Gulf Coast coach. And the Bulldogs quickly get it back into play. Ball in the middle of the pitch. Jip is there for it. Clips this one back. And still a push for it and a flop there across the way. And didn't get the call. This one's going to be sent ahead, and Gulf Coast just swung and missed that time. ICC able to come forward. Ball pinballed around, eventually ends up at the feet of the Indians. Jip with it, and then he couldn't quite make contact with it. Now Gulf Coast trying to get out in transition. ICC trying to get back defensively. This one's sent ahead, and the Indians are going to step a foot into it, put it out of bounds, and will be Gulf Coast ball. 27 minutes to play. Still a lot of time to go before this one is final. That ball thrown in. Gulf Coast with it. Quickly right back to return to center, and ICC did a good job of getting out and clearing that one out, sending it out of bounds once again. That ball out of bounds. Gulf Coast has one near midfield to come throw this one in. And El Sheikh will put a foot into this one back towards midfield. And this one deflected away now. Here comes an opportunity for the Indians. Strikes and it's in! Goal for the Indians! Oh, big time effort there by ICC. Was able to deflect the ball away and get that one, send it home. Indians now up 3-1. Let's go back and look at this on the Little Caesars instant replay. So big time play there for the Indians. It's ICC now with a 3-1 advantage. That 2-goal gap right there gives the Indians a little bit of breathing room, but as aggressive and as good as this Gulf Coast team is with 25 minutes, basically 26 minutes left to play, you don't feel safe with a 2-goal advantage here, because they have been able to get some good looks. The Indians have just played well defensively to keep them off frame. So the Bulldogs trying to answer back quickly on the other end. ICC clears that one back towards midfield. Bulldogs maintains possession. Quick touch over the middle. Now right back to him. Here comes the Bulldogs looking for the strike there. This one sent over the middle and oh, just tipped out and saved. Mahan, just that extra effort, kind of just elbow crawled towards the ball, kept that one out. It is going to be last touched out of bounds, so it'll be a corner kick coming up here for the Bulldogs. Well, that was inches away from being a goal for the Bulldogs. So it'll be the corner kick coming up here from the shadows for the Bulldogs. This kick's in on its way. Cleared out. Bulldogs had it. And this one's going to be batted out. Very physical play in the box there, and the referee's letting them go as they have all day today. Now the Bulldogs with it. Back across the middle, but ICC clears it out. El Sheikh heads this one forward. Gets it back once again. Now here comes an opportunity for the Indians. This is going to be Thomas in the open field. 1v1 opportunity here for Thomas. Strikes left-footed, and it's in! Thomas! Back-to-back goals, and ICC takes a 4-1 advantage. So the Indians get a big-time goal there. Makes a 4-1 advantage in the blink of an eye. Indians the aggressor, and it has paid off here as they lead it now. 4-1 substitution coming into the match here for the Indians. And that, folks, was on the play of El Sheikh and Thomas being aggressive on that front line, was able to break one of those free. Chip will check out, and Lashley will check in. So now Gulf Coast. Still a lot of time, but you got to have some results coming up. You got to be able to find a way to finish around the goal, as they have not been able to do so far here in the second half. This ball is going to be sent back, and ICC will have it now. Trying to go over the top, looking for Mario. Taken away nicely there by the Bulldogs. And the Indians step back in front of it once again. This one going to go forward, and the Bulldogs ready for it. Gulf Coast with it now. They're going to try to spin this one out wide. Look to go inside, but taken away there by Connerly. And it'll be a goal kick coming up here for the Indians. Substitution checking in for ICC is Jones. And Purvis checking in for the Indians. These substitutions brought to you by State Farm Insurance agent Brandon Poland. For all your insurance needs, whether it be home, auto, or life, take a look up Brandon Poland online, your Itawamba County State Farm agent. Parker Stevens will come into the match here for the Bulldogs. My goodness, how this match has changed in a hurry. And good grief, what a send on the goal kick there by Nicholson, the German. Heck, he may want to try out for a field goal kicker as he put a foot into that one. This ball sent ahead, and Nicholson breaks that one up as well. And it's going to be offside in that sense, as Jones, I think, got kind of caught watching that time, as Nicholson was impressive on those back-to-back kicks. Now ICC wants to send this one ahead. Opportunity here for Thomas. Or excuse me, this is actually Purvis now. Purvis trying to work one-on-one. Just too many numbers there, and it's going to be tripped up and incidental contact, and they're going to call for a stop of the clock, and it's going to be a yellow issued here. It's a tough yellow to give, as both players were going for the ball there. I would say that both these yellows, they've one on ICC, one on Gulf Coast, have been extremely weak cards given today. Don't think either one of those guys really deserved that yellow in that situation, as Gulf Coast puts it back into play now. This one's going to be sent ahead. ICC takes it over at midfield, now sends it back. Gulf Coast, though, nice pressure coming up to take it away. Nicholson, though, almost a sweet chin kick, like takeaway there. HBK would be proud of that one. Now here comes Gulf Coast, left side on the attack. Tries to swing it across the middle. Indians break it up. Got to clear it out, and they do. Well, that's what we've talked about. Gulf Coast has had some opportunities to make some dangerous situations, but ICC has had the answer defensively. Substitutions coming in for both teams here. Phillips back into the contest for the Bulldogs. Franco and Gallardo in for ICC. Still a lot of time left in this one. ICC with a 4-1 advantage here over Gulf Coast. And they ask for the clock to stop, and it does. As not really sure. I think the Indians taking too much time for the referee's liking to throw that one in. Lazy throw in, and Gulf Coast nearly takes it away. And they're going to call a foul on the Bulldogs there. This ball sent down the pitch. And Gulf Coast will take it now. So now here comes the Bulldogs trying to get on the counter attack here, see if they can at least cut this deficit to 2. This one sent from distance, and it's going to be just wide. Great opportunity there for the Bulldogs. Couldn't quite link up on that one. And the Indians dodge a big-time bullet once again. Inside 20 minutes to play now. And Nicholson again, a booming kick. As that one headed back, ICC had it at their feet. Now they're getting back at midfield. Nicholson going to let this one skate by. Now Gulf Coast trying to come up and apply some pressure. One thing they were successful with in the first half was the pressure. ICC made some nice adjustments to kind of take advantage of some of that pressure here in the second half and apply a little bit of their own. This one's sent on its way, and it's going to be off the backside of the net. And the ball will go back to the Indians with a goal kick coming up here. Sun continuing to set here in Fulton as it's tucking away behind the trees. Lady Indians won 2-1 earlier today. Indians trying to complete the sweep here at home of the Bulldogs. They lead at 4-1. 18 and a half to play here. This one back to midfield. Deflected around and still being deflected around. And Gulf Coast will eventually let it settle and they'll take control. Bulldogs with it, trying to reverse the pitch, but a nice job there by the Indians to take that one away. That was Lashley. Now Lashley wanting to squeeze this one ahead to Jones. Jones gets past the defender. He's tripped up, and it's in the box is the question. It's going to be close. And yes, this is going to be a PK coming up here for the Indians. And this is going to be Holman set to take this PK. So Holman sets it up. And now the Gulf Coast player will come in and point at the ball. The referee will simply ask him to step back. A little delay tactic there. Trying to freeze him, if you will. So the PK opportunity coming up here. And it's in! That was nasty. Indians take a 5-1 advantage now. Let's go back and look at that one on the instant replay as he just froze up the keeper So now the ball back in play here. Indians leading this one 5-1. 17 minutes left to play, so still a lot of time in this one. Lady Mo is wearing the red and blue right now, but as we know in the MACCCC, if crazy can happen, it does. And so right now, if you're ICC, you want to keep up this intensity here. So Gulf Coast with it, needing to strike this soon. So the Indians send that one out of bounds, and it will go back to the Bulldogs. So this one's going to be sent back, and Gulf Coast is going to have to retreat here. ICC bringing up the pressure. One thing they've done a good job of today is putting on that pressure, as there's going to be a foul whistled on the Bulldogs. And so it'll be Indians ball at midfield. So the Indians will step into this one, simply put it back here to Nicholson. Time is on the side of the Indians. So if you're ICC, you don't want to really force the issue unless you've got a for sure easy strike, as that shot is off frame there. Substitutions coming into the match here for the Indians. Billy Jip will come back into the contest, and Ian Thomas will come back in. Thomas, a pair of goals on the afternoon, so he's just a kick away from a hat trick, if you will. So Gulf Coast will thought about sending this one deep, then changes his mind, and now we'll send this one towards midfield. Bulldogs will have possession of it now here on the near side of the pitch. Now sends this one ahead nicely, with the Indians once again there to clean things up. Boy, we can't talk about the play of Nicholson enough this afternoon. He has been there numerous times on that back line for the Indians. Yeah, you've got 5 goals on the board for ICC, but Nicholson and that back line have really made things tough for the Bulldogs this afternoon. Now here comes Jones. He's wanting to work 1v1. Gets past the Bulldog defender. Now he's going to go forward. Strikes, and it's saved. Strong. I was still alive, they say. Or no, they're actually going to say it was out of bounds. I was wondering, I was like, how did that not go out of bounds? But it will be a corner kick coming up here for the Indians. Inside 15 minutes to play. This ball sent flat line, easily taken away there by Gulf Coast. The Indians, though, come back and get it. Franco takes it away. Franco sees a double team. Ball spun away from him, and now Gulf Coast does a great job of coming up and taking that one away. And now here come the Bulldogs, sending this one ahead. But there's a beautiful play defensively by the Indians. Guess who? Nicholson coming through and making the play once again. Gulf Coast wanting to send in a couple of subs here if they get the opportunity. And they will send them in. Actually be a trio of subs, if you will, if they're going to send them into this situation. Only number 9 is checked in. A lot of confusion here on the Bulldogs on who to come in. 15 will now come in. And number 11 has asked his coach 2 or 3 times who he wants to sub out, and the coach never really told him in that sense. And now Gulf Coast sending in another sub. Man, Gulf Coast is not helping themselves out here, taking a lot of time to get these substitutions in, as White, wearing number 18, will come into the match. If you're an ICC fan, you don't mind that at all. So Gulf Coast is going to throw this one in. Ball batted around. Bulldogs have it. Sent across the middle. Nicholson clears it out. This one sent from distance, and it's batted away, and luckily no Bulldog player was around there as Mahan was able to pop up and basically just chase that one down, and no damage done. 12 minutes to play as this one coming towards us, and it's going to be out of bounds. Second time today we've seen Mahan send one of those unchallenged out of bounds. One of those things you just got to tighten the focus on a little bit more going forward. Jip steps in front of that one and takes it away. The Gulf Coast recovers nicely. Now they're going to send it back and try to reset the attack. Oh, nicely done, flitting through the defenders, and eventually a foul's going to be called there. And there's going to be another yellow issued. That one not so weak as the previous two, as Ethan Scott draws the card. Third card of the day, as we talked about. These two teams are number 2 and number 3 in the league in cards. So it'll be a free kick opportunity coming up here for the Bulldogs. Once they get ready to put this one in play. And they do. This one's sent ahead, and it's going to be out of bounds. Last touch by the Bulldogs. Just couldn't quite get enough air underneath that one that time, as it was on a rocket inside. And it'll be a goal kick coming up here for the Indians. Nicholson has been taking these kicks so far and has been doing pretty good. This ball being pinballed around. And now Gulf Coast comes away with it, but there's Nicholson to clear this one out. I don't know that if I'm Coach Cannon, if I happen to see this Nicholson kid kicking a soccer ball, I see how well he can kick a football. He's out of Germany. He's got a heck of a foot on him. Might be one of those he could make a little money in his career kicking a football, an actual American version of football, I should say, versus the world-known sport of football. He's been impressive with that strong leg today. Thought about going deep with it, but instead keeps it alive here as ICC with it. 10 minutes to play. They lead this one 5-1. 4 goals in the second half so far for the Indians. 2 of those belonging to Ian Thomas. Anthony Jones had a beautiful header, and then Holman on the PK. As this ball comes free out of bounds, it will stay with the Bulldogs of Gulf Coast. Substitutions coming in here for both teams. Mink in for Gulf Coast, and Holman back in for ICC. So it'll be a throw in here for the Bulldogs. And it's going to be a scramble for it. And Jiff takes it away. Now ahead. Oh, was looking for Thomas. And Thomas had an open lane that time. Could have possibly had a chance at a hat trick, as this one sent miles into the sky. And the Bulldogs retake it here. 9 minutes to play. ICC trying to complete the sweep of the Bulldogs here in Fulton. That ball out of bounds, last touch by ICC. Gulf Coast trying to throw it in a hurry, see if they can catch ICC asleep, but good job there by Holman to recognize that, break it up for a moment, allow the defense to reset. Mad scramble for it. Shot from distance, and it's going to be wide. And I don't dislike that if I'm Gulf Coast. You've got to have shots, but you got to have them on frame. So when you have that chance to take a shot, you got to take it, especially trailing 5-1 with just over 8 minutes left in the contest here. This one sent deep downfield and off the side of the head of the Gulf Coast player. That looked painful. But Gulf Coast maintains possession now. Drops this one out wide. Now sends it over the middle here. Gulf Coast had it for a second, lost it. Indians take it away, but then Gulf Coast gets it right back. Now here come the Bulldogs on the attack on the far side. Shoots from distance, and wide right is going to be the case here. 7.5 minutes left in this contest. ICC leading 5-1 here over the Bulldogs of Gulf Coast. Now ICC with it, tries to squeeze it forward. Gulf Coast in the right spot at the right time. It's going to be a foul on the Indians. Good show of sportsmanship there by Thomas after knocking down the Gulf Coast player, coming back and helping him up. Gulf Coast puts it quickly back in play. Not near where the foul was, but they did put it back in play, and that's all you got to do to keep the action going. So Gulf Coast didn't like what they have. We're going to reset the attack here. 6:40 to play in the contest as Yip takes that one away, and now Jones trying to go through traffic, and 3-on-1 just couldn't do anything with it that time. And Gulf Coast doing a good job of just playing keep away, allowing the teams to get some space here. Jip nearly takes that one away. Now Gulf Coast having to hustle that one down. Thomas came up, made a play on the ball, didn't have anything. Now Gulf Coast on the far side. Franco breaks that one up and then eventually takes it away. Gulf Coast able to rally back and get it. Franco's there once again, though. And just going to send this one down the pitch here. Gulf Coast will rally and retreat to get this one. 5:45 left in the contest. We talked about volleyball going on the Blue Channel. We'll see if you can get a score update from volleyball. It's on Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter at Let's Go ICC. Indians down 2-0 after a 25-17, 25-16 loss to Pearl River in back-to-back sets. Substitution coming into the match here for the Bulldogs. This is Cruz Lopez coming in here. We invite you to join us back here on the Red Channel Thursday at 2:30 in the afternoon for football as we travel to Delta for their homecoming. I guess it's the CBS game of the week, if you will. That 2:30 kickoff means we'll have the Davis Ford pregame show coming your way at 2. This one squeezed ahead, still being fought for. And Gulf Coast eventually clearing this one out. Still being fought for. Thomas pops up off the ground, finds it, fights forward, strikes left-footed, and it's saved. Boy, impressive to be able to pop off the ground and get that good of a shot off. If Thomas sneaks that one in, he's got the hat trick on the afternoon, or I should say evening now. So Gulf Coast with it now. 4 minutes to play in the contest. Now this one squeezed ahead. Gulf Coast with it, splits defenders. And a foul will be called there on the Indians. It'll still be Gulf Coast ball here. Referee, a young man from Gulf Coast, was trying to advance it up a little bit further than the referee wanted, called it back, and It's like, no, not so quick, my friend. So a free kick. This is where Gulf Coast scored their only point of the game. It was a free kick early in the first half, so they're trying to find a way to get back into this one here. So we'll send this one over the middle. Headers pinballed around, cleared out by the Indians. And set up the pitch, and Gulf Coast will reset now. Coming up on 3 minutes of play in this one. Indians had it. Gulf Coast gets it back and just kind of pinballs it around before they're able to let it settle. Chip comes up, tries to make a play on the ball. Gulf Coast forced to retreat a little bit. Now sends back up the middle. ICC swinging the defense back, and there is the Indians batting that one away. Loose on the pitch, and Indians still keep it alive. Well, one thing that I can say I've seen today out of the Indians that I have not seen all season has been a sense of urgency, a sense of hustle, a sense of want to, if you will. Something that the Indians coaches hope they can see a lot more of going forward, as this was the team that we expected to see this year. Chip steps in front of that one. A little miscommunication between a couple of Indian players. And this is where you got to be careful here in the latter minutes of the game. Starting to see some extra contact being squeezed on there. And try to squeeze this one ahead. Thomas is going to chase it down. You just want to have a clean finish to this one, as we had a little bit of pushing and shoving between both teams on that previous one. And that one nearly hit me again. I've called matches up here. Been at ICC for 12 years now. Never has a ball come in the ICC Alumni Association and Foundation broadcast booth. Well, I took one off the back of the head earlier this year, and that one nearly taking me out at the hip. That's the second time this season that the ball has come up here to visit us, as we've got a whistle, and good whistle by the referee. And other players didn't like that, but the things that started getting chippy, referees need to blow a whistle to keep things under control in this final minute of play. ICC looks like they're going to hang on to win this one. Gulf Coast wants to try to get a strong finish and take some momentum into their next match. As this one's sent ahead, and ICC just simply takes it away. Going to send this one forward, and this is going to be Jones. Jones, this ball just took a bad bounce away from Jones, but ICC there to clean it up in the back. Now here come the Indians. Wanting to go inside, squeezing his way through traffic, and just too many touches there as Gulf Coast was able to take that one away. So inside 30 seconds before we can call this one final, ICC is going to pick up the sweep of Gulf Coast this afternoon here in Fulton, as this one popped up and looking for the backside header, and what a fitting finish as a great defensive play there. And they're going to call for the clock to stop. But a great defensive play there by Kyle Morris. And it's been that extra effort today by the Indians that have made these difficult. And there's another yellow here in the final stages of this contest, as referee asking Jip to back up a little bit. So they want to step this one off here, and a chance for the Bulldogs to make this dangerous here in the final 8 seconds of this one. Sends this one back post, nothing there. This one's going to be headed out, and that's going to do it. Your Indians are going to clear it out and win it by the final score of 5-1 over Gulf Coast to complete the sweep of the Bulldogs this afternoon in Fulton. Well, that's going to do it for today's broadcast. I want to thank you for tuning in here. Rafael Henry up top running the camera today. Lee Adams has been at volleyball for the latter part of this one, but also taking photos today for ICCimages.com. Lady Indians win it 2-1. Men finish it up 5-1. That's going to do it for our broadcast. We'll see you Thursday for football at 2 o'clock here on the Red Channel.
This broadcast is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars in Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, Davis Ford, First American National Bank, TM Realtor Agent Ricky Murphy, Max Home, the ICC Baptist Student Union, Cagle Eye Center, Bank Okolona, Sam's Town Market in Mantachie, State Farm Insurance Agent Brandon Poland, the ICC Wesley Foundation, the ICC Foundation and Alumni Association, and donations to the Sports Information Indian Club from viewers like you.
So when are you going to give me back for the pizza?
Oh, personal foul. Let's give him a Renaissance replay. Make a successful handoff when you transfer funds to friends and family with Zelle and the Renaissance mobile app. Let's give him a Renaissance replay. Make the right call for 24/7 roadside assistance and sign up for Renaissance Rewards Extra Checking today.